Afrobeats in Nigeria is specifically for escapism. It's specifically for dancing. It's specifically for vibes. It's specifically made for that purpose. So that's the purpose of Afrobeats. It's made to bring you alive and just forget about your worries and just enjoy. Good. Climate of Nigeria calls for that type of music. That's why Nigerians love that music. And the world has come to love that music, but it doesn't change the purpose of that music.
Sorry, this is why Ashake, But listen. He's educating a lot of people, generations. He doesn't even understand the depths of work he's doing for the first, second gen. That's it. He's educating people that don't even have the mother tongue. And they're actually clocking. Come on.
Because of him. Because of Ashake. I'm not even going to lie.
100%.
Fact.
Then you hear something a little different. What's really popping right now? Afrobeats. Because it's different. The sound is different. It is unique. It is organic. It is I'm not saying a rejection or rebellion, but it is at least a little bit of a different wave from what you've been listening to.
When
and
I listen
now
to
that's
Afrobeats,
killing it.
when I listen to Afrobeats these days, it's so distinct than when I listen to hip hop. I listen to Lil Baby. He's rapping about the clothes he bought, the bitches he fucked.
Same
the
shit.
People he gonna shoot.
Same shit.
And it feels like it's in one ear and out the other.
Yeah.
And when I'm listening to like Afrobeats, whether it's like, you know, Asake Thames, I'm listening to Rima, I'm listening to Burna Boy, it feels like it's shit that like I'm like, oh, they're talking about love. They're talking about, you know, feeling good. They're talking about things that like
What's the rejection of negativity? Positive.
But how do you explain Burna Boy's album sales?
Why is a lot of that is we don't.
Afrobeats is not just music; it's our DNA. It's who we are. Afrobeats is the Twitter banter. Afrobeats is the trends, the dance. Afrobeat is what you feel, the music, the food you eat, the jollof rice. Afrobeats is a way of life. It's not just a genre. So people need to understand that, you know, in the race of trying to be different from the rest, you should know you come from somewhere.
Yeah. That was beautiful.
Wow. That was still. You cooked still. You
Might be a little bit outlandish, but I think Afrobeats in the UK became popular around that 2019 period.
Oh yeah, I think there's an album as to when it became
African
popular.
Giant.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. 100%.
I think that changed everything.
I remember walking across a road in Woolwich, listening to African Giant from back to front and thinking, this is the best thing I've ever heard. Like literally, I was thinking, yo, what have I just listened to? And I wasn't really listening to Afrobeats these times. Like, you know, these times I feel like I was still on my UK.
I know talk about rap.
Do you know what I mean?
I was still listening to drill. Same. It wasn't an Afrobeat thing just yet. But I feel like when you go to Nigeria, I feel like when I went to Nigeria in 2020, that's what changed everything for me. Afro Nation in 2019 as well as Nigeria in 2020 was what made me a proper lover of Afrobeats again. Because I'd say I was a lover. Because I feel like as a kid, I loved it. But then obviously I feel like after a while I kind of got a bit.
I think a lot of African women gravitate towards Afrobeats music instead of rap music or trap music because the way in which the artists speak about women or describe women or their relationships with women tends to be more respectful.
If you look at the American consumer of black music, it's primarily young white kids. And if you look at who consumes Afrobeats or cultured music that's from areas like Africa, it's mostly for their own people. So when you're kind of reflecting your own identity on your own people with the intent to uplift, the message is going to be a lot more positive and graceful, which is when you hear Afrobeats music. It's just more about a vibe, and this is how we celebrate and enjoy each other. But I feel like America is so destructive, and I think the white kid wants to hear, you know, the black people destroying themselves so much.
I don't think it was like one artist or whatever.
Me personally,
yeah, that was 2017. I remember this.
I think 2017 when Davido had released Fall. That's my personal opinion.
I remember that. Fall was everywhere.
That was everywhere.
What about
like
that?
even, and I'm not even an Afrobeat or.
No, you're right.
I think
Fall
it was
was
2017.
everywhere. I know that.
What about that Joanna song? Joanna.
Joanna.
That was 2018, right?
Joanna. Hey,
No, that was 2018.
That was another big one.
No, that
Hey,
was 2018,
everybody was on that.
Or 2017.
Everyone was on that. That was 2016.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Was
all,
it?
it's
Yeah,
all
because that was my sophomore year of college. I remember that because I remember going. That was the first time like you started hearing them, and
In the
then
club,
and then Drake came with Views right after that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
There's a bunch of
it
things
kind of was
that-
just a domino effect because once Drake started teaming up with Wizkid, then that made it cool for everybody.
No,
I
because-
remember everybody was like, "Who is Wizkid? Who is this? Who is
Yeah,
this?"
nobody really knew at that
The
time
record
here.
was big, but
Yeah.
I think the record gave off like Caribbean vibes versus like real African vibes. And I think people didn't really know that they were listening to an African song
I agree.
until 2017 when Fall came out and they were like, "Oh, African music!" Like
What happens
I like
is this:
That's
that
what I
might have
think.
all of that started it, but you got to remember, in the States, we didn't know the difference. That was the thing with us. In the States, we didn't understand the difference. Because again,
You're
at
like,
the end
I
of the
feel you,
day,
but niggas didn't know.
straight like that, niggas ain't know.
What actually makes an Afrobeat song an Afrobeat song? If I'm honest with you, I actually do not really know.
It's actually kind of simple. It's two things. One, African percussions and the rhythm those percussions are playing. That is literally why it is called Afro and beats. It is the beats that decides it is actually Afro beats. Not the individual, not the topic, not the vocal melody. It is literally the rhythm the African percussions are playing. It has to be African percussions, and the rhythm they play is so important. Now, the reason why the rhythm is actually also important is because you can use African percussions in other genres. You can use it in reggae. You can use it in pop. They use it in pop as well. Like in so many other genres, but the rhythm they actually play has to be important. Now, the problem here is people think you being from Africa is what basically makes it Afrobeats. No, it is not. It's not about what you're singing. It's not about your vocal melody. It's not about your vocal capabilities. It's not about your language. It is literally what the beats are doing. That is what makes Afrobeats. And this has basically caused so many problems because at the same time, anybody that comes out of Africa, it doesn't matter what you're singing, they automatically class you as Afrobeats. Even if you're singing R&B, even if you're clearly singing pop, but just the fact that you're from Africa, they class you as Afrobeats. And this is literally a disservice to a lot of artists from Africa. It's the same way people think that once you're not an African and you sing, Afrobeats is automatically not Afrobeats. No, that's not how it works. Where you're from or what you sing doesn't have anything to do with the genre. It is literally what the beats are doing. That is what creates the genre. I'm an artist. I make Afrobeats. I'm also a drummer. I also play drums. So I know what makes Afrobeats. I have also studied music. So please. But what I also want to say is like, with the subgenres, right, which is like Afro R&B, the Afro pops, and the Afro whatever, the reason why these genres exist, again, is back to the rhythms. The rhythms that the beats are doing, like the percussions, the shakere, the shakers, the agogo, the conga, the djembes, like those are what makes those genres Afro, because what they do is they take those elements and maybe slap an R&B guitar on it, and then the artist can sing whatever it is he wants to sing or deliver, and that's why it becomes Afro R&B. Afro R&B is fused, so it has the Afro elements and it also has the R&B elements, and that goes for all the other subgenres like Afro pop, Afro swing, Afro reggae, and all of that stuff. But yeah, don't forget to follow me for breakdowns like these. Peace out.
I think for someone like me who entered around like Duncan Mighty days, how did they
Which
educate
Duncan Mighty era though?
or Piano Jew?
That's all it, man. You've been listening to this shit for a long time. This is one of the greatest songs that Afrobeats has ever played.
It's one of my favorites.
Lucy was like, bro, I'm an artist, but I can't make this song.
There's just something,
He said you can tell that this guy went into the studio and he was just enjoying himself.
I swear down. When I think about the things you do, something they tell me to marry. What? How do you just?
He pointed something out to me that I'd never noticed about the song. He said, "Bro, listen to the ad libs."
Yeah. Yeah.
He said, listen to the ad-libs.
Listen, from start to finish, it's just a banger. I don't know. There's certain songs like that. You just
know what? When I
don't
knew
know.
that the song was a madness.
Yeah.
When I want Shokoto.
Now you.
I'm like, oh, you go.
Now you.
You know what?